George Rose, fight week's finally here. Sam Goodman, Mark Sleeves. Overall sort of thoughts on this fight?
No, I like the fight. I think the closer we get to it, the more I think that Sam's been put in an uncomfortable position, which he needs to face. He needs to face if he has to travel to Japan later in the year. That's going to be uncomfortable for him. So I want to make him as uncomfortable as possible and have to put on a good performance.
Do you think the pressure is on Sam, given that a lot of people are saying that Mark isn't even on his level?
All the pressure's on Sam. When you've got a guy like Mark, who we've seen has knockout power, everybody's expecting Sam to dominate the fight, but he's at risk of getting clipped by a guy who can punch. And so there's that huge pressure, that huge risk, and he's doing it in front of his hometown. So it's his first time headlining a pay-per-view in front of his hometown. So all the pressure's stacked on him. All the pressure. He's a headliner. He's got a guy who wants to knock him out. He's a guy who's talked shit about him for non-stop for 2 months or however long it's been. He has talked shit about him non-stop. So there's big pressure on Sam Goodman, but pressure makes diamonds, and this is what he needs. This is what will help him grow even more. So while it might be seen by some as a fight that Sam should win, it's a fight that is putting him in an uncomfortable spot that will help him grow as a fighter.
What about the card as a whole? It's sort of building into a nice card.
Yeah, no, I like it. I think there's some really good matchups there. We've got the NRL boys who are. I honestly, if it goes past 3 minutes, mate, I'll buy another pair of Dior's. No, cut that.
You're paying for it.
I'll be shocked if it goes past. I know for a fact that the moment one of them touches the other, they won't like it, and it'll be hell for leather until one of them drops. And that's what we want from these type of fights. That's what it is. Entertainment. That's what they're there for, and that's what we want from them. And that's what I'm expecting. And then outside of that, I'm really excited about this undercard. I think there's some fights on this card that we probably wouldn't usually get to see, but there's guys that are putting themselves on the line for a matchup and an opportunity that could set up a great year for them.
And Koa Mazudia, he seems to be eyeing a potential fight with Nikita Tszyu. Is that a fight that you look to make?
Well, look, it's funny. We were talking the other night about Anton Markovic and his performance and what was happening in the super welterweight division and the guys that were out there for him. And you got to think, Cohen is still there. Cohen, this time last year, Cohen was that guy who was number 9 ranked in the world, and he's been dominant in the super welterweight division in Australia for a number of years now. Wins against guys like Wade Ryan and the fight against Ben Mahoney. He's got experience. He turns up and he puts on a good performance every fight. So fighting a guy that's undefeated as a pro, 5-0 prospect, who he's actually got a bit of hometown support behind him here. So the pressure's on Cohen for that fight, but it's a fight that I think could be the real one to watch on this card.
And just on the Tszyu's 3 weeks now till Tim Tszyu's fight, what's sort of the next 3 weeks look like for you?
Yeah, look, we've got this card on Wednesday night. We've got a No Limit on Fox show the following Wednesday, and then we're straight on a plane the next morning, heading across there and getting the final preparations for Tim's first headline in the US in Las Vegas. So he's everything's been going good for him so far. He's been really ripping in and going through a few sparring partners. So he's well and truly ready for what's going to come at him on March 30th over there in Vegas.
And the names seem to keep calling Tim out. Israel Madrimov, a good win for him, claims the belt on the weekend. He had Eddie Hearn called Tim out in the ring. What'd you make of that?
Well, Eddie knows that Tim's the king of the 154-pound division. If they want to make a name for himself in the 154, you've got to call out Tim Tszyu. And Eddie knows that. Eddie knows Tim's the king, so Tim's ready for anything. He's got a few fights that he's eyeing off at the moment, that we're eyeing off at the moment, and it's great to see a new champion as well in the division. I mean, Charlo held up the belts for so long. It's great that they're now becoming available again. So it just brings more options for Tim to Tim to take on.
Saw that Chris Eubank and Terence Crawford has been rumoured. Does that sort of clear the way for Tim to unify the division and then maybe look for a Crawford fight at the back end of the year or early next year?
Well, you know what Tim's like. Tim's not going to wait around. So the Crawford fight will be great. When Crawford decides that he wants to come up, it's a great fight. But Tim's not going to wait around. Tim's not going to sit here and wait 12 months for Crawford to be ready to fight. 12 months' time, Tim will have had another 3 fights by then. So whether that's belts, whether that's names, whether that's big-time opportunities, he'll be active over the next 12 months, and he'll be ready to, when Crawford decides to have a couple of stakes and come up to 154, Tim will be ready for him.
And what do you made of Keith Thurman's comments recently? Do you think he respects Tim as a fighter? Do you think he knows what he's getting himself into here? And do you think Tim knows just how good Keith Thurman is?
I know Tim definitely does. Tim definitely respects his legacy, his fights that he's had in the past. He knows that he's a top level fighter. Yeah, absolutely. Keith Thurman is a top level fighter and deserves that respect. But whether Thurman knows what he's getting himself into with Tim, I guess we'll find that out in the first few rounds, because everybody has an opinion of what they think of Tim when they see him fight. Tim fights the fight that he needs to for that fight. He adapts to the opponent that he's got, and we'll see what he does against Thurman. And I'm really interested to see Thurman's comments after the fight.
And Liam Wilson, any update on whether that fight could be elevated to a belt? What's the latest?
Nothing official there. Still the best fight in the division at the moment, so it's a very exciting fight. Valdez Wilson. So Liam's putting it all on the line. So when if an opportunity comes up like that, then it's a worthy fight, absolutely worthy fight.
Beauty. Thanks so much, man.
Thank you.